All right, welcome back to the SGPN Fantasy Football Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented to you by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. Boosted same-game parlays, boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds. WynnBET has exactly what you need to win. If you sign up today, you bet $100, you're going to get $100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. We are back doing our rookie profiles. We have over 6 running backs on the board now. We have 7 quarterbacks. We have over 6 receivers. And we have our last receiver for the day. This is the Marvin Mims episode. And Marvin Mims, if you don't know, he's a receiver out of Oklahoma. Everybody left. He stayed. We saw half the team go to the East Coast and go to South Carolina. The other half of the team went to the West Coast, went to USC. And Marvin Mims stayed. And we talked about this before, we love to reward loyalty, but sometimes being loyal and being the nice guy doesn't always do you any favors. In 2022, he had 54 receptions for 1,083 yards, 6 touchdowns. He is a big play machine, 20.1 yards per catch, 22 yards per catch the year before. He had a 27.5% dominator rate. Comes in at 5'11", 184 pounds. Brad, let's talk about your pros and cons.
Yeah, it's like we're just repeating ourselves every episode. 5'10", 5'11", 180, 185, like these smaller guys. But this dude definitely knows how to stretch the field. I mean, career yards per catch, 19.3. 19.3 as an average yards per catch, which is first among the wide receivers, and 16.3 for his ADOT, or his average depth of target, which is second among the wide receivers in the 2022 season with 80 or more targets. Because this dude can stretch the ball, he is also put on film for his second pro, the fact that he can track the ball. He makes great adjustments to the ball when it's in the air. I watched a touchdown earlier today that was just a severely underthrown and outside shoulder that should have been over the top and inside, and he made a huge adjustment, turned, dropped, caught it, touchdown. It was great. You see the adjustments. That's what I really like about him. And then the last pro, which is not always a pro for somebody 5'11", 184, and that is his ability to be successful at the point of attack. This dude can go up and get the ball even in contested type situations, and he's put that on film quite a bit in some of these deep shots. So let's move on to his cons. His route running is not there. This dude runs deep down the field, deep slants, deep crossers, deep stretch plays. That's about his route tree. That's what he goes for, right? Again, as evidence, this dude's got like 111 total catches his entire career, 3 years in college. That's not a lot, right? So he does, to me, profile the second con. He definitely, to me, profiles as a wide receiver too. This dude is not a guy that's going to come in and demand 100+ targets. He's going to be that deep play, boom or bust type of player that you're looking for on a dynasty squad, which is very valuable, especially if you're talking best ball or anything like that. And then the last con I kind of alluded to, he's just got limited volume, right? Again, you look at his yardage, 610 yards his freshman season, 700 yards his sophomore season, 1,000 yards his junior season. You see that progression in yardage, but it's all on limited volume, right? He went from 37 catches his freshman year to 32 catches his sophomore year to 54 catches. He's just not getting the volume you really want out of a guy that you're going to spend somewhat high draft capital on. So because of the pros, because of the cons, he's limited. He's that ball stretcher or that field stretcher. I linked him up to a guy that might make people hate him. And I'm not trying to do that to anybody, but this is really the type of player I kind of envisioned him as, and that's Khalif Raymond, a guy who is more of a stretch the field, undersized wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 on his team. but we've seen Khalif Raymond have some really solid production in his years with the Detroit Lions here most recently, right? He's had a couple good seasons with Jared Goff there. He's had some big games, some big catches, and I think that's what you're going to see out of Marvin Mims in the future.
Yeah, you love to see someone have 9 touchdowns their freshman year, and those big plays. The NFL, every offense needs a guy like that. That's a field stretcher. That is a niche that people will look for, and people will be shopping exclusively for a player like this in their draft. You hear it all the time with the Los Angeles Chargers. They need somebody like this.
Yep.
You heard it last year. They're gonna, probably go after somebody like that this year. I love
they've tried, right? They've tried with Jalen Guyton. It didn't work out. They've had a couple of those stretch the field kind of guys. It just hasn't come to fruition for them.
Yeah, they haven't used high draft capital on it, and I think that's what you see this year, where you see somebody go in the first or second round. Josh Palmer was a pretty early draft pick, but Palmer was not someone that people expected to be a top, first or second,
Yeah, and he doesn't profile like this either, right? So
yeah, and other comparisons I've seen for Marvin Mims, Darnell Mooney is another one. This guy's got great body control, and so when you see like this picture right here is exactly what you're looking for. Like tracking the being able to high point the ball is one thing. It's about timing, it's about body flexibility, and being able to contort your body in different ways. Like you see, like Marvin Jones is a player that's really good at it. Like that is something that is people have learned that, but it's also just an athletic trait that not everybody has. And you see the ball tracking, that's extremely important when you're out there and your quarterback and throw it like you see with Gabriel Davis. Like he's someone that you always see like these huge plays. Well, it's because Josh Allen throws the ball 10 yards and he goes and creates separation after the ball's thrown in the air. So that's another guy that you could kind of compare it to, even though Gabriel Davis is a little bit bigger. But this is Marvin Mims episode. Make sure you guys like, subscribe so you don't miss out any of the future episodes. Hit that little notification button. And as always, cheers.